Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 8 at Kentucky Downs on Wednesday. Let's throw up the field for the $500,000 Nashville Gold Cup at the little run distance of 2 mile and 1/16. We have a field of 9 brave enough to go this distance over the quirky Kentucky Downs configuration, and the horse to beat is the number 1, the Gray Wizard, who just looks like probably the best North American-based turf stayer. I'm talking a mile and 3/4 or longer.
Yeah, he's got tons and tons of stamina, and he also happens to be in really good form on the way into this, Dan. He's 7-5 on the morning line, and he's way the horse to beat.
There is no surprise as we look at the Timeform US pace projector that we have our favorite gray bar, no speed scenario. None of these horses are really pace setters, and how fast do you really want to go in a 2+ mile race? I guess the 6 Really Good can make the lead if no one wants it. She's never been on the lead in her career, but she does have some tactical speed. The 8 Conglomerate has similar tactical ability. Even the 4 Duvet Day in from Southern California might show a little bit of early interest.
Yeah, we'll see who decides to, come out of there running and sort of take the bull by the horn, so to speak. They're not going to be going fast no matter what. Going this distance, they're going to be going pretty slow early, and then they'll sort of steadily pick up the tempo. Don't be surprised, though, if the 9, there's one import in this race who does not appear on that pace projector. That horse, a 5-year-old mare taking on Boyce here, but she's showing tactical speed overseas going long.
The fastest Timeform US late pace horses are the 7 and the 8, but I think, Mike, you'd agree that the best closer in the race is the Gray Wizard.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. He doesn't have the LP flag, but this is the best closer in the race.
Here's his performance last time out in the Cape Henlopen. He's going against a familiar foe in Limited Liability, and I thought Johnny V gave him a very good ride. He was last on the backstretch, and then he made a move to get past Limited Liability, got the jump on that horse, and let this horse's stamina do the rest.
Just much the best in this race, Dan. And I know that he was even money in there. He was last early, but he was never far away. It's not like, it was like Johnny was just letting him keep contact with the field. He moved early enough to get the jump on the horse that he had to beat there, Limited Liability. And oh, by the way, he beat that horse really easily, staying on through the stretch. He's going longer in this race. It's no issue for this horse. He was really good going 2 miles, 2 starts back.
He got the better of Limited Liability in that 2-mile Belmont Gold Cup, and it just seems like his stride increases as the distances increase, and he is way the horse to beat. 6- is the number 2 for trainer Todd Pletcher. Maybe he'll show a little bit of early ability after being wired in the John's Call, going 13 furlongs at Saratoga last time out. This was just a race where the pace setter, Cathkin Peak, was allowed to set his own pace. 6- tracked in second, and that's the way they finished.
Yeah, he's not making any serious headway here. 6- through the stretch of this race. He was second, a distant second all the way around the track, and that's where he finished. There's nobody running behind him, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He'll get this far, Dan. It's a question of will he, get this far in a competitive fashion against, way better horses. He was no match for the Gray Wizard in that Belmont Gold Cup, 3 starts back. He's run well 2 miles before, but it's not against horses like this.
Bill Mott will take a chance with the 3 Cyber Ninja. This is a son of Arrogate that will stay a distance of ground. The question is he of the caliber of horses like the Gray Wizard? He last ran in a second-level allowance at Saratoga. He didn't do much running that day. The 6th-place horse came back and exploded to win an allowance race at Kentucky Downs with a 98 buyer.
Yeah, it's all about distance with this horse. Based on just what he's done so far, 9 turf starts in his career, he's not good enough to win this race, Dan. But he's always sort of given me the impression that longer distances are better for him. And so I'll be interested to see how he handles the 2 miles plus.
Duvet Day, the number 4, is one of 2 mares in this race, taking on the boys. 3rd last time out in the CTT and TOC at Del Mar, and really no match for the top 2 that day, although she was facing a pretty good field. It's interesting that they've shipped her to Kentucky before, and she's run well at Churchill Downs. Maybe sort of the softer turf courses play to her ability, but she really has to run a career best.
Yeah, she does, but she's another one who stays. I mean, who knows about the two miles plus? I mean, obviously you don't know about that with her, but they like to keep her going long. She does stay in her races, and she's got a top effort that is actually pretty good. I don't necessarily feel like she's run it recently, but her good race is actually pretty good.
Perhaps McLovin, the 5, will wheel back on 3 days rest. This horse won a 2-mile race at Far Hills last fall, and his most recent start at Colonial Downs last weekend was his first race off a lengthy layoff. He was fresh, he showed good speed, and he tired. He'll stay the ground if he runs here. Interesting that Pratt is named.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And of course, being able to handle the distance is a big advantage. Having a prior race and a prior win over this turf course is a huge advantage. There are things to like about this horse for sure.
Really good, finished fourth in the Belmont Gold Cup behind the Gray Wizard 2 starts back. His most recent start was the Cape Henlopen. He was up close to the pace. He was no match for the Gray Wizard in the stretch. He's a horse that has proven thus far the Gray Wizard is better. It is Maker, though, and maybe Jose Ortiz is just going to try to get to the lead and back things down and hope this horse takes to the course. He hasn't won over it yet.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to ride him. I mean, just based on the races that I've seen from him, he is not a speed horse. I'd be surprised if he made the lead in here, but maybe just going this far, that's where he'll wind up being. He didn't run well last time, but he's better than that. I can't say I've ever been a huge fan of this horse, Dan, but he's certainly better than that last one.
Limited Liability is going to try again after being beaten in his last 2 races by the Gray Wizard. While the Gray Wizard is a stayer, I would call Limited Liability a plotter. He's a horse that basically runs at 1 speed all the way around the track. He gave it his best shot in the Belmont Gold Cup. The Gray Wizard ran him down. And in the Cape Henlopen last time out, I was a bit surprised that they allowed the Gray Wizard to kind of outfoot him entering the 3rd turn, but maybe just the Gray Wizard is a much stronger turn of foot than this guy.
Yeah, maybe that isn't what it was. I mean, certainly the tactics, I guess you could argue, made a little bit of a difference there. But, you're now talking about 2 races in a row where he's been in against his main rival. They had the jump on him in the Belmont Gold Cup, and he got outfinished by him. So they tried to tail him last time, and that didn't work either. I don't know what they do this time. It just feels like something has to change if they're going to turn the tables on the Gray Wizard. Maybe this turf course will do the trick.
Don't see Marcassi claim him very often. They took Conglomerate for $50,000 last summer out of a runner-up effort, eventually stretched him out, got a graded stakes victory in the Valedictory, going 1.5 miles on the Sint. 3rd last time out off a little bit of a layoff. He was wired that day. That was a strong race. The runner-up came back to win the Niagara at Woodbine with a 92. I can see him at a price improving a little bit.
I'm going to agree with that. He's 20-1 on the morning line. It does feel like once they got this horse a little bit more distance to work with, he sort of moved forward. He was off the layoff last time in a good field, as you've already pointed out. I can see him taking a step forward here.
It's been a circuitous route to this race for the number 9 Familiar Dreams, a well-bred mare that was originally in the Roger Varian barn, never started, sold as a 3-year-old for a very cheap sum, and then ran a national hunt races where she won 4 in a row. They bought her then for $332,000 earlier this year. She won a maiden at in a week race last time out. I have no idea how good she is.
I don't either. She does have the right running style for this race, though, because she can be forward in those races. Listen, if nothing else, you're talking about a mare who has now won 4 in a row going 2 miles. And I understand that the first 3 of those were in those sort of bumper races there against hunt horses, but still, the distance is no issue for this horse.
The distance is no issue, and if you watch her races overseas, as Mike mentioned in the Open, it seems like she has a little bit of tactical ability and a very shrewd jockey in Tyler Gaffalione who should be able to judge this pace. This horse is interesting at a price. Let's take a look at our top selections. The way the horse to beat is the Gray Wizard. I'm wondering if Kentucky Downs is what gets him here and maybe allows Limited Liability to turn the tables, because Limited Liability is going to need a little bit of something to maybe upend the Gray Wizard.
That's how I looked at it too. We've seen horses not perform up to par at Kentucky Downs in the past. Maybe that'll happen to the favorite here, but everybody else in this field, they better be hoping that happens, because if he runs his good race, I don't think they can beat him.
1793 for Mike, 7126 for me. It's the $500,000 Nashville Gold Cup on Wednesday. It's one of 2 stakes races at Kentucky Downs. Good luck.